So part 2 of council meeting number 1 will now be called to order. Please turn cameras on if at all possible. Oh, okay. We're skipping back through all the stuff that we've already done. All right, so now we move on to back to this motion, and we're going to reopen question period, not extendable, if anybody has any questions at this time about the exec report. Actually, I'm going to let Ethan, sorry to put you on the spot, but do you want to just give a refresher on exactly what this motion's about?
Yeah, so exec report was just kind of going through what we've been up to this past 2 months. It kind of touched on orientation, Free the Dot, speaking with our stakeholders across the university and London, and then some, I guess, comms updates from Kimia. I think I covered most of it, but yeah, it's in the agenda as well.
All right, are there any questions at this time? All right, seeing as there are no questions, we will now move on to the debate period. Here's the time where we'd make any amendments if there are any. Are there any points of debate, either for or against approving this motion? Excellent. Seeing as there are no points of debate, we can now call to question. Everyone head over to Turning Point, and we all set up there for that? Okay, great. Everyone head over to Turning Point then.
I'll say 1 more minute. We have 23 of 24. So if you're one more person to go, oh, there we go. Let me see.
Passes?
Yeah, the motion passes unanimously.
Excellent. Okay, we can clap. All right, moving on to the second motion of the day. I think we all kind of remember this one. Ethan, if you want to give another quick refresher, this one seems might be a little bit more involved.
Sure, yeah. So the exec put together a roadmap for this year. It's a combination of myself, Jessica Look, and Lauren Jarman's platforms, as well as input from the other executives. Start out really big, and then the more we kind of talk about it and see what's already in place, already been tried, it kind of got whittled down into what we see as achievable and impactful steps for this coming year.
Great. Are there any questions at this time? Okay, seeing as there are no questions, we'll now move on to the debate period. Are there any points of debate or amendments that need to be made? All right, seeing as there are no points of debate, we'll now call to question. Head over back to Turning Point.
I'm just waiting for one more again. You guys are quick at the voting. There we go. All right, so let's see. And the motion passes unanimously.
Okay, great. And so it's kind of short and sweet today. We don't have any 4 discussion points. Sorry that it took less than 4 minutes. New business, no new business in general, but quick note from me. I know summers are tough, especially because a lot of people are working, but just try to get your regrets and proxy forms within those 24 hours, if at all possible. And also, one more thing is that the training session that was scheduled for 10th is being moved over to the 17th, tacked on. So we don't have a training session on the 10th. Yes, Ethan.
Real quick, Ethan, could you yield your speaking rights to me real quick?
Yep.
Just say yes. Thank you.
I'm deciding. Thank you. Yielding Ethan this one.
Yeah, Isabel, is it all right if I just bring up something to discuss real quick with council in terms of a policy change that Lauren and myself are working on?
Yes,
Just
go
hoping to
ahead.
get some thoughts. Okay. So, hi everyone. So, pretty quick meeting today, and just while we all are gathered, I was just hoping to get some opinions for bit of a change to our policy with how we handle the different faculty councils bank accounts, as the USC currently like manages and holds those for them. So if I could get the attention of faculty council leaders, especially, I think their opinions would be very valuable right now. Isabel, could I get screen sharing permission as well?
Well, I don't know if I can give you that, but you have my permission to share your screen if you're able.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't do that. Melissa,
Don't think I have co-host.
Just give me one
yeah,
sec here.
Okay. Oh, as well as this is going to be kind of more of a formal, we do need a mover and a seconder for this. Can I get a mover? Ethan, President Gardner, and can I get a seconder? Councillor Jung, and then from there, we do need a 2/3 approval to have this added to new business. So we're going to do this by Zoom hands. Yeah, we'll do hands. Anna, what did you say our numbers were? 25?
We
Okay,
had
we have two.
24. Yeah.
All right, great.
That's perfect.
I'm good to go.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, super. All right, thanks everyone. So I'm just gonna get right into this. People can see my screen, yeah? So this, so just to give context, the different faculty councils and professional school councils, so med, dental, law, IB, all that stuff, have bank accounts with the USC that we hold and sort of manage, basically because as a means for them to have access to money that is collected from students, it's just a lot easier for us as the USC to facilitate that, since we already collect money for ancillary fees and the like. So in us collecting that money, we can just distribute it to them a lot easier by them having their accounts with us. And it also allows like a lot easier things like oversight, management, and making sure like no bad actors within a particular faculty council, take a bunch of money and run with it. So I've gone back and reviewed our policy that deals with these accounts. And I've also tried to address a number of concerns that former faculty council leaders have like brought up. And yeah, I'll be making reference to them throughout this. So I won't go into too much depth here. I'm just mostly just trying to pry for opinions on certain points here, since this will likely come to next month's council meeting. The purpose of this policy has been rewritten. I'm wondering whether or not I need to distinguish between faculty councils and professional school councils. Anyone here from a professional school council, if they could tell me if they care, would appreciate it. I feel like it'd be a lot simpler for me if I could just call all of you guys as a whole faculty councils. Just makes language just a lot simpler for the sake of this policy, because as it is now, I clarify as both and then generalize them both as constituent councils. But whatever. Going throughout, it's just clarifying the amount of signing authorities that each faculty council will have, which will consist of their president, VP finance, a VP events or equivalent. So these are the people who can make all the decisions with like drawing money, transferring money, granting money, blah, blah, blah. basically just clarifying that I will overlook this, clarifying some dates as to distribution of that money that is collected. Affiliate councils aren't covered because they have their own piece of policy. We're not going to go into that right now. And yeah, just clarifying some other things. A big addition to this policy that Lauren and I drafted is this section here, which is really just clarifying the things that we can provide these faculty councils when it comes to managing these accounts. So it's clarifying the RFP forms or request for payment forms that they typically use to withdraw funds. This is typically when they run programming. Let's say they spent like $200 for a dance, and then as long as they submit the receipts, and then they have those signing authorities I mentioned before, fill out that form, then they can get reimbursed for that $200 that they spent on the dance and whatnot. This is generally how most of that money in that account is accessed by a faculty council. We're also clarifying that transfer of funds is allowed if they want to send it to their bank account that's managed by the faculty rather than the USC. We do clarify business account because there's a lot of risk in giving it to a student's personal account, because then that one person has all that money. People can deposit money in case they ever like make any revenue. You can also issue checks through our office. If you want to give out grants or honoraria, they can ask for a general ledger for just like a status of what their financial situation is like. And this big new thing that I've sort of like tested the waters with so far, and I'm like trying to implement, is the issuance of a credit card that faculty councils can use for recurring payments. So in past years, a lot of faculty council leaders have brought up to my position or people in my position for that there has always been an issue of transference of payment between faculty council leaders. So let's say, I don't know, I'm in science. So like, let's say on Science Student Council, there's like a website and that needs like an annual bill payment. So once a year, the president would likely pay that hosting price, and I don't know, be like $30 or something. And once they finished their term, they would need to pass off that account to the next president in line, and then also remove all their payment information, and then make sure the new president puts their information in. And there's just a lot of issues with privacy there. And it's also, what if the president doesn't necessarily have the money on hand to pay for this service? They can't necessarily wait for the request for payment to come back through and be reimbursed. And we've also gotten a lot of issues where leaders from like 2 years ago or so are being charged for a service that like they forgot to remove their payment information from. So as a means to combat this, I've looked into our financial system and just like what sort of risk we can take on. And we are going to be implementing a credit card that can be used by all different constituent councils, and going to be implementing a new form. So much like the request for payment form, instead of recurring payment form, the faculty council leaders can submit this form that will just indicate like how much it is the service will cost. Is it going to be monthly, annual, whatever? We would need login information as well. And then whatever you sign up for your faculty council and whatever fee you're paying there, we'll just pull that out of your faculty council account at the end of each credit period. So yeah, and then hopefully that should alleviate any sort of issue there. And yeah, as long as we're offering such robust services for these faculty councils, we're also going to be pushing for accountability a bit more. These are old bits of the policy as well in terms of budget reporting and everything. So we're going to be expecting having these budget submissions and reports on revenues and expenditures by the dates outlined. And we'll be just a little more strict on expecting these forms to be completed and received by the USC office. So yeah, that's about the changes we've made. Would love to hear thoughts about that credit card system, or any concerns as to this timeline of student fee distribution, or any opinions on the whole professional school council thing. Do you guys care? Do you want me to specify? I don't know. Any thoughts, questions?
Yeah, Counselor Soria.
Hi there. Thanks, Ethan. I think this is a great idea because you kind of define my situation exactly. I actually have been having to use my personal credit card for recurring payments, and it's been a messy kind of turnover because,
Yeah.
pardon me?
No, I'm just saying super, like that's exactly what I'm trying to
No, like,
fix.
yeah, so I'm fully in support of this. This is a great idea. I just kind of wanted to get some clarification between, I'm like, to my understanding, there's two separate accounts. There's like the USC account, then the faculty account, if I'm correct in my understanding, but could you kind of
Yeah,
explain that more?
that's not like, I'm generalizing a little bit. Each faculty council situation is different. Each faculty council does have like their own USC account. Depending on the faculty council, sometimes their faculty sort of supports them and sponsors them in like holding an account with them. I don't know if that's the situation for you though.
Okay, so it just depends on the faculty then, or the specific council.
Yeah, that's why in that clause I specify business account. That just means it has to be like there's not like one sole owner.
Okay. All right, yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I had a question about the credit card. So just to my understanding, like, is it like, do we know like which specific bank is going to hold this credit card, or is it up to the faculty council to decide, or is it up to
So the credit card is held by the USC and like will be part of our banking system. And it'll like, for liability reasons and to make sure that like no individual abuses it, that credit card information will not be shared with any of the faculty councils. That'll simply be something that we hold. So when submitting and filling out the recurring payment form, you're basically submitting to us, hey, we want a Canva subscription, and it's like on this and this account. Please go log in and then put in the payment information, and then, you know, done and done. It gets we have like one of our staff go in and like put in that payment information, and then you as a faculty council leader can just assume that like at the end of each month, that's just going to get pulled out of the faculty council account.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. And like faculty council leaders will also like have control over that account as well. You know, if they just want to go in and then use that Canva account, but you know, we don't want them to go around and then like adjusting their subscription plan from like pro to premium, just like increasing that out of nowhere, because like it's a little oversight and it's like not really fair to students to suddenly decide like, hey, we want to spend a lot more money. So just being clear in some of our policy. Okay, any more questions, or are we about done here? I think that might be it. All right. Thanks everyone for your time.
Yeah, I'm on mute. That's all right. Seeing as there's no more new business, can I get a motion to adjourn? Oh, President Gardner and Councillor Sophia, you will be the seconder. Are there any objections to adjourning first meeting? Seeing as there are no objections, this meeting is now terminated. Can I get chairs to stay behind? But everyone else, you're free to go, or you're free to stay and chat.